This MTV podcast is brought to you by Clean and Clear.
What are you doing? I'm steaming up in my pores. I want to get them really clean.
I think I have something you should try. New warming scrub from Clean and Clear. It heats up to better draw out dirt and oil. For beautiful skin, clean to the pores. Clean and Clear and under control.
Give it up for the senator, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so our audience today is comprised primarily of Coe College students here in Cedar Rapids, most of whom will be voting for the first time in this upcoming election. In fact, I'm standing next to Ben right here, one of our students who wants to ask you a question to kick off the show. Okay, Ben.
Current and past administrations have made a lot of political reforms based on religion. And if you were elected president, how would your religion impact your views and how you would run the country?
Well, thank you very much for the question, Ben. And by the way, are you on the basketball team? Because you got the Coe College.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how's the team this year?
Looking really good.
Looking good?
Yes,
all
sir.
right. All right. Well, first of all, thanks so much to Coe College and MTV for hosting this. I really appreciate it. And it's a great question because there's been, I think, a lot of confusion around the issue of faith and politics. I'm a Christian. I'm a member of a Trinity United Church of Christ on the south side of Chicago. And I love my congregation, and my faith informs my values. So there's no doubt that part of the reason I think it's important to look after people who are poor, part of the reason that I think it's important to help those in need is because of my faith. But I am a strong believer that the founding fathers put separation of church and state in place for a reason, not only to prevent the state from being taken over by one church and forcing people to worship in a particular way, but also to protect the church or synagogue or mosque or temple from undue influence by the government. And I think that there have been times during this administration when maybe those lines have gotten blurred and has made people who have different faiths or no faith at all feel uncomfortable. So what I would do is I will speak about my faith. And I will talk about the importance of people of different faiths coming together around common values. What I don't want, though, is the government to, for example, be funding a particular denomination for social programs, and people may not be able to access those programs because they're of a different faith. I think it is very important for us to keep those lines clear.
Senator, I wanted to introduce you to our over here.
Over.
Sorry,
Good to see you, Chris.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you.
Yeah.
We've got, you can see below me here, we've got the polling widget where we are asking people, should a president's religious beliefs significantly influence their policies? We got 73%, roughly three-quarters, saying, no, we need separation of church and state. A quarter, religion informs values, values matter. My question for you is, are those two options that we're giving people mutually exclusive? Because I think what I'm hearing you say is, I believe in a separation of church and state,
right,
but we do need a values and a moral system.
Yeah.
And if they're not inseparable, how do you marry the two? Because a lot of people have different ideas of what is right and wrong.
Well, here's the key, is that let's say that I believe that it's important for us to give to the poor as part of my religious faith. The key is for me to be able to translate that into universal terms so that I can talk about the ethical precept of looking after those who are vulnerable without reference to my religion, so that other people who don't have the same religious belief, they can still get behind the idea, that's still the right thing to do. So I think one of the dangers that we've had is in the Democratic Party is we haven't talked about values sometimes. We haven't talked about responsibility, both public and private, because we're worried that it'll make us sound preachy or intolerant. I think the key is just making sure that when we communicate these issues, that we're communicating in a way that's inclusive and everybody can be involved and everybody can be a part of it. And that is not contradictory with a clear idea that separation of church and state is one of the basic principles that we founded this government on.
For more information about MTV podcasts, visit podcast.mtv.com.